one down to around the 3-yard line. First Tuck takes it, and cutting up to his left, he's over the 10. Nice block there by Lehman. Still going, he's up to the 25. And now he's hit and hit hard about the 27-yard line. Bruiser Kennard made the tackle. We interrupt this broadcast and bring you this important bulletin from the United Press.
Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii by air, President Roosevelt has just announced. The attack also was made on all naval and military activities on the principal island of Oahu.
No matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory.
That pledge made by President Franklin Roosevelt the day after the attack on Pearl Harbor wasn't just a blanket statement. The American people were going to win this war. Every man, every woman, every child had a role to play, from the poorest of the poor to the richest of the rich.
A big guy named Joe DiMaggio, top-ranking American League baseball player, heads for Uncle Sam's Army. Joe, age 28, waives his 3A draft status and asks for immediate action. The slugging outfielder of the New York Yankees is pronounced in perfect condition. So the $50,000 a year Joe DiMaggio becomes a $50 a month guy named Joe.
On February 17, 1943, Joltin Joe DiMaggio enlisted in the United States Army. At the time, baseball knew few greater stars than DiMaggio. He was the face of the New York Yankees, a 2-time American League MVP, and a 5-time World Series champion. But in 1943, those accomplishments paled in comparison to the one yet to be obtained overseas, in Europe and the Pacific. DiMaggio wouldn't come near a battlefield, instead assigned to serve in more of a morale-boosting capacity, playing baseball on military teams stationed in California and Hawaii, keeping America's pastime alive amidst the mayhem consuming the world.
Professional baseball's contribution of athletes to the Army provided our servicemen opportunities to watch service games that included some familiar faces. Joe DiMaggio, Jerry Pretty, and Mike McCormick were among those in the lineup of this 1944 contest between teams from Fort Shafter and the 7th Army Air Force.
DiMaggio's role was a rather common one among his fellow athletes and celebrities. In 1942, heavyweight boxing champion Joe Louis volunteered as a private in the United States Army. But like DiMaggio, he would serve in the Special Services Division, staging dozens of boxing exhibitions for soldiers stationed at home and abroad. Other stars like Bing Crosby, James Cagney, Abbott and Costello led drives for war bonds. But not all stars were consigned to such posts. There were those who would find themselves in the throes of the front lines, just like a regular G.I. Joe.
Yes, in democratic America, everybody is doing his bit. There goes Jimmy Stewart on his way to enlist. One of the most popular stars on the screen. Joining the Air Force as a private, Jimmy has now won promotion. Today, he's Lieutenant Stewart, USA.
Jimmy Stewart was one of the first major movie stars to sign up for active duty during World War II. In his mid-30s, he was decidedly old for the military. But as a member of the United States Army Air Forces, he'd participate in dozens of combat missions, piloting B-24 bombers into Nazi-occupied territory. For his actions, he was twice awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross, among other decorations for bravery. But Stewart wasn't the only established star to seek action. Douglas Fairbanks Jr. organized the so-called Beach Jumpers, a tactical naval unit that achieved lots of success in the Mediterranean. Tyrone Power saw combat in the Pacific, receiving 2 Bronze Stars. Even Clark Gable found a little bit of action as an observer gunner in a B-17 Flying Fortress.
Clark Gable, at 41, renounces his throne as America's most popular film star to join the United States Army Air Force. Enlisting as a private, his ambition to become a crack aerial gunner in the crew of a bomber.
Whether on a baseball diamond, a boxing ring, parading down Washington, D.C.'s Pennsylvania Avenue, or flying high above enemy territory in the gunner's seat of a bomber, celebrity seemed to lose a bit of its distinction. For throughout those war years of 1940s, every American was on the side of one common goal: absolute victory.
This whole nation of 130 million free men and women and children is becoming one great fighting force. Some of us are soldiers or sailors, some of us are civilians. A few of us are decorated with medals for heroic achievement, but all of us can have that deep and permanent inner satisfaction that comes from doing the best we know how.